Hey, ladies and gentlemen. I have a very special guest with me here tonight. I am here with the leader of the Congregation of Harambe, Cincinnati Charter. He has politely asked me to withhold his name for fear of being persecuted by the federal government. However, he has decided to come on the show and share some of his knowledge and findings with us. So, how are you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to inform the world more about what we follow.
Yeah, and I know I'm glad to have you on the show. For fear of losing time here, I just want to get right into it.
Yeah, it's fun.
So what brought about your interest in Harambe?
So I grew up in Texas, and we would always go down to the Brownsville Zoo, and that's where Harambe was born, actually. So I've known about him since I was a younger fella, and yeah, I've been a fan for a while. And then he came up to Cincinnati in around 2016, I believe, and I followed him because he was my favorite. He was very friendly.
Okay, and so I'm assuming you just happened to find him at the zoo. You didn't know about him
Well, the
beforehand.
first time we went to Brownsville Zoo, I saw him and I was like, "Oh, that's a nice looking gorilla there." And yeah, so I've been a fan ever since.
All right, awesome. What was your fondest memory of him?
I always love when he'd spin around.
When he'd spin around?
Yep.
Uh, uh, Is there any
In his
context to that?
enclosure, he'd spin around when he got happy.
Oh, okay. What do you know why he got happy, or is it just like
He was a happy gorilla. Harambe was always very that's the thing I remember about him most. That's probably why I keep him in my mind and in my heart always. Is because he was always a very happy-go-lucky gorilla, and he had nothing bad to say about anybody. He was like he is what we should all aspire to feel like.
okay? Would you say if you were to go up to his enclosure, do you think he'd recognize you? Do you think you were that close with him?
I felt like I was at the zoo a lot, and when I believe that we had a connection, especially once I, relocated to Cincinnati to be closer to him.
Okay. Well, to I guess address the elephant in the room. I know this is a little sensitive of a topic, but
Yeah.
do you think Harambe deserved to be shot, or do you, as some people say, do you think he was protecting the kid that fell into his enclosure?
Now, I just like to preface any of my statements with just forget what you think you know about the situation. This was a monumental event about something that I always felt very close to Harambe, as I've explained. So I obviously do not think he deserved to be shot. I feel that the kid was not in danger. But that is sort of besides the point. And I can get into that a little later if you want.
Yeah. I mean, when you put it that way, it's hard to disagree. But before we get to more of that in just 1 second, first let's talk about the fact that there are lots of things in life that are uncertain, and one of those things is when you're gonna die. Harambe didn't know when he was going to die, and you probably won't either. If you're a responsible human being, you need to have the right life insurance policy, especially if you have a family. If you want to make sure your revenue stream does not stop in case you plot, get life insurance with PolicyGenius.com. Using Policy Genius makes finding the right life insurance a breeze. In minutes, you can compare quotes from the top insurers and find your best price. You can save 1500 bucks or more every year by using Policy Genius to compare life insurance policies. Once you apply, Policy Genius will handle all the paperwork and red tape for free. Nobody knows when they will die, so use Policy Genius today to find the right life insurance for you. And if you use code PRUIT15, you can get 15% off your life insurance policy. Don't let Harambe's death be in vain. Use code PRUIT15 at PolicyGenius.com today. That is PREWETT 15 at PolicyGenius.com for 15% off your life insurance policy. So, to get back into that, you said you could explain some more. Do you think you could do that for us?
Yeah. So it is the belief of the Congregation of Harambe. Our official statement on the matter was that there is more to this story than anybody knows, and I have evidence and I have proof that blows this into a somewhat big conspiracy. And it's a shame that an innocent gorilla from Texas, a day after his birthday, no less, his 17th birthday, had to be shot and killed over over stuff that's happening in the government and stuff that's happening around the world, and more people need to be aware of why that is.
Okay, so why do you think they decided to kill him then?
Now, the whole reason I hid my name is because I know, I don't think, I know this was a setup. There something big was going down. The kid, he wasn't a kid. The kid was a government agent who I don't have the name of, but if you watch the video, you can see he's just a very small man.
Okay. I mean, do you want to explain further?
Yes, I can totally explain. I can expand.
Okay.
So, okay. So the small man is a government agent who thrust himself into the enclosure um, because I think Harambe himself and others who worked with him, perhaps the zoo workers themselves, they knew a lot about what was going on behind the scenes in the government, stuff that is still relevant to this day. So they created this tragedy around this kid falling into the enclosure so that they could end Harambe's life and sort of get people off their bet, get the zoo and Harambe himself away from the situation. And now, unfortunately, I fear it may be too late, which is why I finally feel comfortable to come out and say something about this whole thing.
All right. What do you think it's too late for? What do you
Okay,
think's going on?
so this setup, like I said, I feel like it goes all the way to the top. Um, so I want you. Do you mind if I provide some evidence for what I'm saying so I can lead you there?
Oh, I'd love that.
All right, I'll give an in-depth analysis of our of our thoughts.
All right.
So Harambe, as you know, is a western lowland gorilla. Correct?
Y-
We know this.
I
Awesome.
I'll take your word for it.
All right. So the word western. If you count how many letters in the word western, how many do you get? Can you tell me?
Seven?
Yes, sir. Now, the word lowland. How many letters in that one?
Seven as well?
Yes, gorilla also has 7. Harambe's name has 7. Now, we have 4 sevens here. But if you look at the word Cincinnati Zoo, there's 10 letters in Cincinnati, 3 in zoo. That 10 minus 3 gives us our last 7. Now, we have 5 sevens. And now, if you could tell me, what does the number 7 correspond to in the alphabet? What letter would it be?
Uh, G.
Yes. So, we have 5 sevens and the letter G. 5G. Now, I'm sure we don't even need to explain the dangers of 5G, how how it's causing all of this horrible sickness and pain throughout the world because these 5G towers are going up. And Harambe was trying to warn us. Harambe, he pulled that kid away and he tried to stand that kid up. He was showing people that that kid was no kid, he was a man. But before it was too late, it was over. Like they took him out and he didn't deserve it. And I feel like we feel like in our congregation that Harambe should be classified as an American hero for trying to expose the 5G conspiracy.
Wow. Wow, that is a lot to uncover
Yeah,
there.
it goes all the way to
Um,
the top.
yeah, that is much more than at least I ever thought it was.
Exactly.
Um, so you mentioned your congregation. What do you and your congregation do, or what are your daily actions?
Um, you know, uh we sit together and organize rallies about about Harambe. It people try to view us as a cult, and I don't really feel like that is accurately describing what it is. But we recruit people who are, they're not doing so good. Maybe they've lost their home. They're just having a bad situation. So we bring them in. We feed them, we shelter them, and then we teach them about Harambe and what he was trying to do, and that what his mission was as a gorilla, because he knew a lot more than he was letting on. He was a gorilla, and if he could speak, he would have exposed these conspiracies years ago. But yeah, we like to wake up in the morning, give a little prayer to Harambe, then we have our breakfast, which consists of gorilla feed because we want to be closer to him. We want to then after that we gather around and discuss how we can maybe further gain evidence towards our statement about the 5G thing, or if anything else, because we're on to something else that I can't really get into. We still don't have enough evidence. I don't want to put anything out there that is misinformation. I just keep an eye on Elon Musk and what Tesla is doing. Harambe was smart, and he was trying to. I feel like he was trying to teach us something about that guy.
So you even think Elon Musk is connected to this?
Maybe not connected to the 5G situation, but there's something up there.
Huh, interesting. All right. What do why do you think Harambe of all gorillas is like, this this hero of a story? Or do you think it's just any gorilla? It just happened to be that Harambe was trying to speak out about it.
Harambe. First of all, let's get into the name Harambe. Harambe um, is derived from the word Harambe, which is a Swahili term for communal labor. Now, I feel like that name alone, he is trying to inspire a group of working together. In fact, there is a song by the widow of Bob Marley called Harambe, "Working Together for Freedom," which is where the man who named him uh, got the name from. So it started with the name, and you can just tell by the way he held himself, um, that he wanted to do the best for everybody. He wanted everybody to work together to make a better world.
Wow. That I mean that's incredible. I think I see Harambe in a new light after
Yeah,
hearing that.
and hey, we have uh, you know, there's Harambe was trying to teach us a lot of things. You know, um, he warned us. I he predicted a lot of things. Warned us of he warned us of this virus. Personally, he warned me. Um, he he warned us of Jeffrey Epstein. He Harambe was always trying to warn people, just by how he acted. And if you saw him and watched him while he learned to be an adult, he you could see what I see.
So do you think Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, or is it all a ploy?
I feel like I do not have the information to to comment on that completely. However, if I will say this: we as a community and a congregation, and even you on the outside, you haven't seen Harambe's body. Now, Harambe was known for eating a lot. We What he ate, I feel like has the key to a plethora of questions. But I fear that the government now has taken his body to who knows where. Um, and they have him locked up. I mean, For unfortunately, it's the body locked up, tight behind a vault, lock and key. So I don't think we'll ever be able to get the answers that Harambe had for us. But I'm hoping through my congregation and through everybody coming together, Harambe, communal labor, if everybody comes together and works together, we can find out and decode the secrets that Harambe was teaching us. My congregation has already figured out the 5G one, but there has to be more. He was a smart gorilla. He lived for 17 years.
Wow. All right. I mean, that is huge. Um, I'm glad I could have you on my show for you to talk about that first. Unfortunately, we are almost out of time for our viewers who are not subscribers. But before we head to our premium time, is there anything you'd like to let everyone know?
Keep your mind open. You can hear Harambe in your prayers. Just listen, be open, and if you can find a charter near you of the congregation, by all means, please, we'd love to have you. Um, you just have to open your mind and forget what you think you know.
All right. Well, thank you for being on the show. It was a
Thank
pleasure
you
to
for
have
giving
you.
me the platform. I appreciate it, and Harambe appreciates it, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I hopefully, as if this is well received, I'd love to have you back on the show to talk, about more of your findings in the future.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
All right, we're gonna head to our paid subscriber time now for the interview, but I hope you guys enjoyed this show tonight.